They're lying to you. They are telling you one thing and then completely doing another. And in this video, we're going to talk about this. Thank you to everyone who likes and shares my videos. I appreciate all of you. This is going to be a very serious video. We'll talk about several key points: inflation, the endangered social security safety net, Russia, and Tesla. And all of this in around 10 minutes. Let's talk about the inflation situation. It's time to dig deeper. Not too long ago, Congress, they just passed the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. And Biden, he's come out with Minority Leader Mitch McConnell to say that this $1.7 trillion spending bill will not add to inflation. Here's the key thing that you should know, since I know that many of my followers are investors. $45 billion is going to keep funding the Ukraine conflict. And here's why this is important. Let's think about this for a second. You work hard, and at the end of the day, you get taxed, like everyone else does. Because of inflation, you are experiencing another tax, this time a stealthy, silent tax because things are more expensive. And among the more important items, you probably witness food being absurdly expensive. Now, this $45 billion is going to fund the Ukraine conflict, which is going to extend the war, and this will keep inflation higher for longer due to food prices. So in other words, all your hard work, your tax dollars, it's going to a spending bill that's actually raising inflation and secretly taxing you even harder. Now let me know what you think about this in the comments below, because I don't think that this spending bill is going to fight to lower inflation like they say. And if you've been looking for the greatest scheme being pulled off in history, well, let me tell you, I think that this comes pretty close. Now, what about Social Security? Well, first of all, what is Social Security? I know many of you guys are younger, in your 20s, so give me a second to explain what Social Security is in case you don't know. Social Security is designed to provide income to folks who are older than 65, or if they're disabled. It's funded by the U.S. Treasury General Fund. It's a pretty important program, as I'm sure you might agree. Not every older person has the ability or opportunity to work. Guess what? In this $1.7 trillion bill, they are having a $785 million increase to the Social Security operating budget. Only $785 million relative to the $1.7 trillion bill. Compare that with $45 billion for Ukraine. Now, is this long-term thinking? Is this thinking about the American people? So out here, to put it quite simply, if you're younger, your parents, they're not getting the attention of the government. The safety net that was supposed to be set in place, they're not allocating many resources towards that. Now, if you're already in this age group yourself, or you're approaching this age group that qualifies for Social Security, you're probably concerned about the future, and rightfully so. A lot of research from the Social Security Administration themselves, they have said that by 2037, Social Security may run out, and that's only 14 years away. Now, this might seem like a long time, but the time to start planning is now, because you cannot depend on Social Security based on how things are being run today. So get promoted, level up, dump girlfriends or boyfriends who are mooching off you, be financially independent. It's about to be Squid Games in 14 years in the US. But what about the rest of the world? Well, given the influence the US has, other countries are getting screwed over too. Look at this. Russia's Putin is going to ban Russian oil exports to countries that tried to do the oil price cap. So remember when the G7 said that they were going to cap Russia's oil at $60 per barrel? Well, whose grand idea was that? Well, it was the US, of course. And now Putin is just not going to export oil to them. And so these other countries are going to need to import their oil elsewhere at potentially far higher prices. And on top of this, Saudi Arabia's leader, the famous Mohammed bin Salman, they call him MBS, he and his crew are working more closely with Russia and China, and potentially pricing some of their oil in yuan too. So if you're wondering why the dollar lately has not been able to break above 114, this is one of your reasons. If you're wondering why Jerome at the December FOMC seemed like he had a change of heart and came off way more hawkish than even the hawks expected, that's because him being more hawkish supports the dollar. The dollar being strong lengthens the duration in which the US can finance the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Well, you can't fight a war if your currency is moving in the trajectory like those FTX, FTT tokens, can you now? Now in Congress, we currently have Mitch McConnell, who's minority leader, and he's set to extend his term of office to a record duration, which means you can expect the politics to stay relatively the same. In addition, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy of the Republican Party, he hasn't been voted in yet for Speaker of the House. So what this means is that there will be an impasse, a lack of things being done until a speaker is chosen. And in the meantime, Nancy Pelosi, in her final goodbye speech, she said this. She said that the House Democratic Caucus is the greatest assemblage of intelligence, virtue, and vision assembled for the good of the American people. Now, she implies that the administration is stronger than ever, and I think that you should take her seriously. The administration said that they're making clean energy and climate change a tremendous priority, right? They're going to push for electric vehicles, yes. Well, did you know that the latest Inflation Reduction Act in the IRS code for EV credits, it's actually going to disallow the Tesla Model Y long range from taking advantage of this tax credit? I mean, the Tesla Model Y is an EV car, yet hybrid cars from Ford, GM, Toyota, or Honda that have lower mileage, they're hybrid, not fully EV, they will qualify. Strangely enough, the IRS, they set a target that cars above $55,000 will not qualify, and that only cars weighed between 6,000 and 14,000 pounds will qualify, and the Tesla Model Y weighs 4,400 pounds. So out of all the EV cars that aren't eligible, it seems like Model Y is one of the only ones that is impacted by this. Is this a coincidence? I wonder why this might be. This is because Elon has been unleashing hell on Twitter with the Twitter files. He's upset those in power, and now the administration is fighting back. And Tesla stock and shareholders are the collateral damage. My investment community now covers Tesla, so if you're interested in this name, make sure to check out my Substack below, links in the description. Guys, I hope this was informative. Subscribe to my email list on Substack and turn on the bell when you subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for liking and sharing my videos. If you're new here, come along for the ride. I've got a lot more research and strategy to share with everyone, and I hope this helps you. Feel free to watch this video up here next, and I will see you in my next episode.